how to build multiple HTML5 pages using Pug as a template engine for HTML coming up. What's up guys, I'm Marian. My passion is to create the web and help you be part of it. If you're new over here, this is CodeTap, where you'll master how to build websites with minimal knowledge of HTML5, CSS3 and JavaScript. So consider subscribing. In our previous episode, which you can find the link above or in the description below, we've created our landing page and styled it. Let's see what our agenda is for today. Okay guys, so I've opened the project and we have a task to do file here. On top of that, I've also installed an extension in Visual Studio, which you can do by clicking on this button on this side over here and say to do POMO. P-O-M-O. Yeah, this is the extension that you need to install in order to get this nice checkbox here, which you can toggle off as done or not. So let's start with our agenda. See our website online. As I've promised you in the previous episodes, we can quickly deploy our website online without knowing anything about domain names, name servers, anything. Let's just do it. So in our command line over here, let's say npm run deploy. Okay, if you happen to forget this command, let's go and open our browser and pug-starter. Okay, when we visit our pug-starter, or actually your cloned project, the readme file automatically gets rendered by GitHub. And this is the readme file. And somewhere over here, you have lots of commands. One of them would be npm run deploy. So just read the readme file if you forget how to run a command or what's the name of the command, okay? Now let's get back to our project, and our npm run deploy has finished. So basically, let's use the readme file. In the readme file, we can find somewhere project. Yeah, this one. To automatically deploy your project to GitHub pages and make it available at https your username.github.io/your project, use npm run deploy. So all we have to do now is copy this, go back to our project and escape. Let's see what we can do about this. So I have this project on CodeTap.io. That's my username. Okay, and the project name is W3 Schools Replica. So let's replace this, W3 Schools Replica. This should be it. Let's hope it works, otherwise I effed up. So, bam, yes, we've got our website online without the need of anything else. So now let's get back to our agenda, and we've done this one. So I'll press Alt D, and we've also done this one. So we've seen our site we've seen our website online using npm run deploy. Now we want to go back to our index pug file and identify repeatable arrays and create a template and multiple components out of it. So let's get back to it. Okay, so as we've talked before, most of this stuff, like the header and the nav and the footer, repeats on every page to a certain level, and the unique part of every page is this one over here. So basically, in this file we want to leave our current selection, and everything else we want to extract in a template file. So let's do that. Let's go into src and create a new folder. And the magic thing about this folder is it has to start with an underscore, so Pug doesn't look into it. So any folder that starts with an underscore, Pug won't look into it. Gulp might look into it, but Pug won't, because it's configured not to look into folders that start with an underscore. So let's name it component. And firstly, we want to create a template file for our layout. So let's create another folder in the component name layout. And this one, template.pug. Okay, so we got our template file. Let's basically just copy paste everything from here to here. However, this part we don't need. So this would be our template pug file. Now let's remove everything from here, including the article. Bye bye. And everything from here. Bye bye. Now if we save this file, and also let's run npm start to start our project locally, and let's see what happens if we save this file like it is. Boom. Something went wrong. Ooh. Yes, of course. Let's do it again. Pam param pam pam param pam pam. Come on. So you can see that our index HTML looks just like this. It only has the content in it. So now let's update this. So in our template pug file, we want to create a block element over here. Block awesome content. Some content. Almost there. And we'll also use this block awesome content. We'll use it in our file, and this is how we link them together. Let's save this one. Let's go all the way up, and we want to make this content the child of block awesome content. And right now, one more thing, we'll say extend, and then the path to our template. So currently we are in index pug, and the path to our template is component layout template. So underscore component layout template. So when we save this and go to our browser and refresh it, we can see that this is back. So right now we have extended our content with a layout file. Now let's do some more magic. Go to the task, create a template, done. Extract header, footer, and nav into components. Okay, let's do that. So this header over here, we'll copy it, cut it actually, and create a new folder in component named header. And in header, we create a new file, header pug. And in this header pug, we'll paste and set our indent to be nicely. And in order to include that file, if we save it right now and go back, we can see that we're missing the header. So let's include it back. Include, and we are in template. So since we are in template, in order to get to header, we have to go out one folder into component, and then into header and header again. So include out one folder, that's how you do it. Dot slash is like one folder up, and then header. And we got our header back. Now let's do the same for our footer. Let's cut it from over here, save it. We see that our footer is missing. And now let's create here a folder, footer. And in footer, we create a new file, footer pug. And we paste our content. make the indent nice again, and it's not yet there because we haven't included it. So let's do that right now. In template, we want to go up one folder, into footer and footer pug. So let's do that. Instead of this, say include up one folder, footer, footer pug. We don't have to specify that pug, we can do that. However, pug will assume that it's a pug file, so it will look for a footer.pug. Let's save it, and our footer is back. Now let's extract this navigation too and save it. Our navigation is gone. Now new folder, nav, and inside this one we'll do a file nav.pug, paste the content in, select the file, shift tab, save it, and it's not yet there because we haven't included it. Let's do that. I think it's exactly the same, so include up one folder, nav/nav, and we should be fine. Yes, everything is back. Now let's update our tasks. We've extracted header, footer, and nav into components. Alt D is done, and this one is done too. Okay guys, so our next task is to create JavaScript variables and pass them into the pug template. The reason for that is that if we want to create another file and extend it from the same template, both files will end up having the same title and the same meta description. So to fix this, let's create JavaScript variables. So in order to do that, we'll declare here another block and we'll name it cool config. Yes, and in this cool config, in order to create inline JavaScript that's only available for pug, so it won't be rendered in the browser, we'll start with a hyphen, and then using the indent we'll say var my title equals of some title, awesome title. Yes, and let's also do var my description equals cool description own. Finally, I managed to type. So we notice that we have an error here. That's because we haven't paired up this block in our template. So let's put it on top of the head here and save it. So we can see that the error is gone. So now let's do a quick test to see if we can pass that variable from the index pug file to the template. So let's do another title equals my title. Save it, and let's go back to our browser, and we can see that we have the title and the awesome title. So now that we know that it works, let's grab this piece here and do a bit of cleanup and put it over here. Yes. Now let's grab this bit over here. Come on. Shh. My description. Yes. Save it and put it over here. Now we should have the same title and description as before. Let's create two more variables that we'll need a bit later on. So we'll do landing page, and for the moment it's equal to an empty string, which is like equal to nothing, and active link. So var active link equals as well empty string. So now let's create another page. What would we want our page to contain? Well, basically, if we go to W3 Schools, we want to create something that at the moment refers to these HTML elements, which consist of a start and an end tag, and then the HTML attributes, which provide additional information about HTML elements, and also HTML headings, which are very important for HTML. So basically, I've already prepared this content before. I grabbed it from W3 Schools and I'll put it inside our app. So in order to create the secondary landing page for HTML, in this src folder, we want to create a new folder named HTML, and inside it, we'll actually save our current index using file, save as, and inside HTML, we'll double click to open it. So double check your path here and just click save. So in here we have a first complaint, and that's because this template path is no longer valid at the moment, because we are in this index right now, and in order to get to the template we need to go one folder up and then into components. So // save it, and it works again. Now if we were to just add some extra exclamation points over there and go to our app and check it, no, not this one, our local app, we can see that HTML has this one over here. And let's see about our styles. Index.pug template. For the moment, let's add a slash over here, which should make this an absolute path. And now the styles are present in HTML and in home. Now let's update the content of this. So for HTML, I have prepared this one. HTML. Let's replace this. So our new page looks like this. HTML elements. An HTML element usually consists of a start tag and so on. Is the content from W3 Schools. So basically, this bit over here, wait a second, where is it? I lost my editor. So this bit over here got converted into this one over here. HTML elements, HTML attributes, HTML headings, and so on. Okay, now we can actually make use of this my title and my description in the same file. So let's add an h1. Must be a child of block awesome content, otherwise another error will pop up. So h1 equals my title, and let's do a description 2 equals my description. So with that being said, let's visit our page. So you can see now the title that's present here, it's also the h1 tag here, and this is the description, and then we have h2p, 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 and both of those files are extending the template. So that means that this title has to be unique. Let's make it unique. And the description should be this one. Bam bam. Okay, both of those ones do have a landing page. So one has HTML as landing page, and this one has landing page as home. we'll need those ones later on, once we'll get into our navigation and into our header navigation, the top navigation. So let's quickly create the same for CSS and JavaScript. So it will be easier for us to use file savers from this index pug, which is inside HTML. So let's do file savers into our src, new folder, CSS, and save it. Okay, now for the CSS, let me quickly grab our content. Pam pam. Which is again content that I took from W3 Schools. So feel free to go to W3 Schools and grab some descriptions and titles from over there in order to generate your content. Okay, let's quickly do learn to code CSS, and then CSS should be really awesome. Okay, and our landing page is CSS. So now let's see one more. So this one, file, save as, up one folder, new folder, JavaScript, and save it. Let me quickly grab our content. Which I've prepared, so this movie won't be 3 hours long. Okay, JavaScript. Bam. Those are about JavaScript comments, JavaScript variables, and operators. So let's quickly go on this one and go for JavaScript, and you can see that we have here comments, variables, and operators. So this is where I grabbed my content. The same goes for CSS. And I grabbed the content from colors, backgrounds, and borders. Not all the content, but some anyway. So let's make sure that this is also unique. Learn to code JavaScript for beginners. JavaScript is really awesome. Pam pam. And JavaScript again. That should be it. So now if we go back to our page and click on HTML, we can see that learn to code HTML for beginners. CSS doesn't have a title, so let's fix that quickly. And neither this one. What's going on? Okay, so the CSS is missing it. Okay, because this is my title and my description. CSS, yes, now it has an h1 and a description. Let's do the same for the JavaScript one. So my title, my description, and that should be it. JavaScript. Ba-bam! Now we can also notice that our current link, although we clicked on JavaScript, we can see here that we are on JavaScript. We can see that now we are on CSS, it's still this one. So let's fix this. Back to coding. And let's refactor our header. Okay, currently it's hard-coded as current, and we can see that we repeat ourselves with this. Let's extract our content inside the JavaScript object. So we'll start an inline JavaScript and we'll say var top navigation list equals. And usually for lists, we use arrays, and the array notation in JavaScript is with square brackets. And then inside this array, we want to have a collection of objects. Those objects will have a label and a link. So let's do label and the value home and the link and the value slash. Now Alt Shift down arrow 3 times. We created some copies of it. So now let's quickly update this to match our header content. So then this should be that JavaScript. Okay. So currently nothing happens at the moment. However, if we are to print out our landing page in the header here, and let's quickly do this div equals landing page, it's not printed. Landing page. Okay, we can see we have home, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can see it here. Okay. So when we are on HTML, landing page is HTML. When we are on CSS, landing page is CSS, and so on. Based on this, we can replace this content, which we can comment out right now. And if we comment it out, we can see that it's no longer there. We can do an each. So let's do each navigation in top navigation list. So now this navigation variable will be, at first will have this value, then once it loops again it will have this value, and then another loop will happen. Each time it will grab the value of the next item in top navigation list. So this navigation, at first it will be an object with the property of label and the value of it of home, and the property link and the value of it of slash. So let's quickly recreate this a tag here. So I'll do a tag href equals, and we want to have the value of link. So we'll say navigation link, because navigation is this object. Okay, so in order to access link, we'll say navigation.link. And we want to have the label of navigation label. So now if we save it, we should see our links back. Now we want to do an if-else condition, and this if-else condition will check if the navigation label is equal to the landing page. So check if navigation label is the same as landing page. So if navigation label equals landing page, do this. Otherwise, Alt Shift down arrow, then Alt down arrow. So if the navigation label is equal to the landing page, we want to add the current class to it. Now let's save it and see what happened. If we click on the CSS, we can see that the CSS is active. If we click on HTML, the HTML is active, home is active, and JavaScript is active. If we inspect this code, we can see that we have the class current, which comes from this one. This creates class current, and only when landing page is equal to JavaScript, which is right now. If the landing page is CSS, then the class current will be attached to this link, and so on. If it's HTML, it will be attached to this link. So this is how we created our current behavior to work. Let's check out our tasks, our to-do, and we can mark this as done and this is done. So now quick break and we'll continue refactoring our navigation. Okay guys, so now let's refactor our navigation, which currently, if we go on our website, we can see that this part over here is the same across all pages. So we want this to be different based on the landing page. So now let's go to our src component navpag file, and inside here let's open an inline JavaScript that it's available for this pug file, and we'll say var side navigation list equals, and we'll make this an object. Remember, the curly braces like these ones are for object, and those one are for rise. Okay, so with that being said, let's continue. So we want to create a key, and this key should match the landing page. So that's how we'll match the landing page variable with the current object inside this side navigation list. So let's do the key home, and this would be an object, and using Alt, Shift and down arrow a few times we'll make copies, and then do HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, so as I said, the landing page will be compared to the key of this side navigation list, and that's how we would match what we want to do, basically. Okay, so inside all of those ones, let's select this first set of curly braces and press Ctrl D until we've selected all of them. With left or right arrow, we exit it and we position the blinker in the middle of it. And over here we say title equals, title colon, because that's how you do it, is some random string. And then we want to have a linked list, and this would be an array. And in here we'll have objects with label of blah blah blah, and link of, at the moment let's do slash, and we'll see about it later. So I hit the end key, so now I'm at the end of all those four occurrences in multi-line edit. I'll add a comma, and then using Alt, Shift and down arrow, I'll do it. No, I think I'll do it only 3 times. That should be it. Now let's populate the contents of this object. So we want to create an HTML elements and HTML attributes and HTML headings. Then for CSS we do colors, backgrounds and borders, and for JavaScript comments, variables and operators. So let's quickly do this. HTML and CSS. Okay, then we have learn HTML with the link to /HTML, and we have learn CSS with the link to /CSS, and we have learn JavaScript with the link to JavaScript. Okay, so let's see, where do we got this from? Well, if we go home, we have learn HTML, learn CSS, and learn JavaScript. The content is from W3 Schools. I just took the time to prepare it before, so we'll make this video a bit shorter. So if you feel left out where the content comes from, just go on W3 Schools and grab it from there. Okay, now let's get back to our editor. So this is home. Let's do HTML now. HTML tutorial, and this should be CSS tutorial and JavaScript tutorial, and should be tutorial with an L. Is there anything? Yeah, tutorial. Okay, and for HTML tutorial, let's do HTML elements, HTML attributes, and HTML headings. And then the link would be HTML elements _1 and attributes and headings with lowercase h and lowercase a. Okay, now CSS. I'll just quickly do the following by using a cheat. That's it. Feel free to pause the video and do the same, or if not, do it on your own. But basically we have the CSS colors, backgrounds and borders, and for JavaScript we have comments, variables and operators. Now we've got our big object ready. Let's do something about it. So over here, let's quickly print out what our landing page is. So div equals and landing page with capital P. Okay, so if we go back, we can see that that's home, that's HTML, that's CSS, and that's JavaScript. Okay, so now if we say, if we are on the home page and we want this title, in order to get this title, we need to do side navigation list of home and of title. But this home is dynamic, so it's actually landing page. So let's do site navigation list. Let's do another div here. Div equals site navigation list of landing page and title. And if we refresh our page, we can see we are not quite there yet. What's up with the title? HTML and CSS, HTML tutorial, CSS tutorial, should be fine. Maybe I got lost. Yeah, that's the same. That's the same as this one. Yeah, this is good. So now let's replace our h3 with this part here. And let's remove this for the moment. So now we have HTML and CSS, HTML tutorial, CSS tutorial, and JavaScript tutorial. The links are exactly the same as before, so we need to fix this too. Okay, to fix the links, we need to do an each of side navigation list if we are on the home page. So side navigation list, home, link list. Okay, just the same as we've done with title. So let's do each navigation in side navigation list of landing page of link list. Okay, so let's comment this for the moment, and in here we'll do an a tag with an href of navigation link, and the content like of it would be navigation label. Because when we loop through this part, we loop through this array over here. So this navigation will be in the first occurrence of the iteration, we'll have this value, this object. Second time it loops through the linked list, it will have this, and third time it loops through the object, it will have this. So then when we want to access the link, we'll say navigation.link, which is this one, and navigation.label, which is this one. So let's hope it works. Well, we have JavaScript comments, variables, and operators. Now CSS colors, backgrounds, and borders, HTML, and home. Apparently they do work. So besides home, which if we click on learn HTML, it takes us to the correct place, or learn JavaScript or learn CSS. When you go on HTML and click on elements, we don't have yet the page elements. So let's go to our tasks and mark that we've refactored this using Alt-D. And now let's continue to create our pages. The same goes for the pages. If you go, and I'll give you an example actually, if we go on HTML and elements, we can see here stuff about elements, and then we have this try yourself, and we can see that we have an H1 and an P paragraph, right? Then we have more examples over here. Let's go on attributes. We see this title here, and we see this link here, and then we see an image. So basically I've already created this. That's how I got the content. I've looked through the content of HTML attributes, HTML elements, HTML headings on W3 Schools. I grabbed the content and then put it inside those files. Now let's create those files, but I'll quickly go through them based on my notes. Okay. So with that being said, let's get back to our editor. And let's do HTML. Okay, this is the one that we have. Let's save our task to do and close the other files. Let's do a bit of cleanup over here. Don't save. Okay, so this index pug generates the index HTML, this one over here, which gets rendered in our page when we go on HTML. This is the one. So to double check it, we'll say one more exclamation point, and we can see that it refreshed. And inside our description, we have two of them. Okay, so this is the file. Bam, refreshed. In order to create elements, attributes, and headings, we'll create folders here. Elements, new folder, attributes, and headings. So the first time we'll do file save as for this index pug, file save as, and we'll save it, let's say in attributes. Okay, just save it. Pug will complain because this path again is no longer valid. Why is that? Because we are in this index pug, and in order to get to the template which sits inside component and layout, we need to go one folder up in attributes, and we actually one folder up in HTML. No, yeah, that's correct. One folder up in attributes, one folder up in HTML, then component, layout, and template. So we already have one folder up, we need to add one more. And pug is no longer complaining. Now let's do the content of it. So for attributes, let me quickly go on this side. Pam pam. We got this title. Then we got this description. Dun, 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 dun. And we will also specify an active link, which is this one. So the active link when we are on the attributes page is HTML/attributes. Okay. Now let's paste in some content. So if we remember from our previous iteration of the example, we had a p tag with an attribute of title, an image, a link, and an image. So basically, let's save this one and go for HTML attributes. So this is our paragraph. If we hover over it, we see this is a tooltip that comes from this is a tooltip. And let's put some smileys. This is a tooltip with smileys. And we also have a link and an image. So let's quickly go through HTML elements. Which right now it doesn't exist. So let's go back to our editor, into elements. We have nothing. So with this index pug from attributes open, let's do file, save as, and go one folder up into elements, click save, and now this file exists, but it's the wrong content. So let's fix this. Let's do and then this one, and then the active link should be pointing to elements. This would be the content of it, and this is it. This is not my first heading, not my first paragraph, and we had some fun with tag interpolation. So we used the span tag with style color blue inside the paragraph. So if we inspect this one, we can see that this p and this br tag and this span were rendered inside. Okay, let's quickly do headings. So with this file open, let's do file, save as, one folder up into headings, click save. Now the file exists there, but the content is not the correct one. So let's update it. HTML headings. Headings are really important. I will always stress that headings are really important. Make good use of them. They'll help you and they'll help your clients. So now we have here some age tags ranging from h1 to h6. If we go on HTML headings, we can see the age tags. If we inspect it, we can also see the HTML being rendered from pug. Cool. Now let's move on to the CSS part. So for CSS, we already have this page here, and we want to create CSS backgrounds, borders, and colors. So let's quickly create some folders for this. So backgrounds, colors, and borders. So with this CSS index pug file opened, let's do file, save as. Let's go into backgrounds and save it. Let's fix the path by adding one more folder up, so pug stops complaining. And let's quickly do file save as for all three of them, and then we'll update their contents. So file save as into borders, and file save as into colors. So now we got files for all of them. And if we go for backgrounds, or actually let's go for colors, because I think in here we have colors first. Is it? Yes. So colors, backgrounds, and borders. So this is what we want to do. We want to do some of those colors, or most of them anyway. Some of them will be sufficient. So let's go back to our editor, and we are in colors. Colors. Let's put the correct title and the correct description, and the path should be, the landing page is correct, but the path should be CSS colors /CSS/colors. And let's put in some content, not all of it, and see it in action now. So on our page, CSS and colors, we can see that it printed out what we wanted. Now to do the first bit, I've created a table with a width of 100%. Inside it will have a tr and the table data with background color red and the width of 50%. And then the second table data has the content of red. So basically this would be colored in red, the background would be colored in red, and this will tell that it is red. So let's save it. And we can see that we have a table, and this table has a tr that's red, and then it has another one that's green, and this is the output of that pug file. So let's quickly do some more content. Let's go back to this file, paste it in. If you worry that you're missing some of this, you can find the project on github/codetap.io/w3schools-replica. Nice, the camera just shut down, which tells me that it passed 20 minutes and I'm running with this movie a bit long. So I just pasted in some content over here. When we go back to our page, we can see more of the colors being used. So now homework for you. The next pages I'll just leave as empty placeholders. Actually, let me do it. Change me. That's it. Change me. An active link as /css/backgrounds. Okay. And that's it. Oh, something is missing. What do you mean? Title, my description. It's working. Okay, So change me for borders 2. Change me. No content. You'd have to do it. Let's see. Colors, backgrounds, borders. That's cool. With the exception that this should be /css/borders. Okay, now why do I do this active link? Okay, so at the moment when I click over here, it doesn't do anything. Let's fix this in our navigation. Okay, so let's do an if here. Firstly, let's print out div active link. Okay, so you can see that the active link is CSS colors, CSS backgrounds, and CSS borders. So you can say here if, and this is navigation that link is the same as active link, then do this, else Alt Shift down arrow, and then Alt down arrow. So when it's equal, we want to attach a current class. Okay, let's also remove this, save it. So if we go over here and inspect it, you can see that it has the class current. However, there's nothing happening here. So let's update our styles. And let's go to styles CSS. And we have somewhere the navigation. Okay, so we'll do current. Okay, and we'll have a background color of var, and there is some fruit salad. Yeah, and color var white. Save it. So now this works, and it works well for those ones, not for JavaScript, because we haven't done JavaScript yet. So let's quickly finish with JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript, we want to have comments, right? Operators and variables. So for JavaScript, new folder, comments, new folder, operators, and variables. And then this one will do file, save as, one folder, no, into comments, save, update this path, // and then this is change me, then this is change me to. Okay, the active link is JavaScript comments. Okay, and then remove this. Okay, save it. Then file, save as, operators, save, file, save as, variables, save, variables, save. And now let's visit our page. JavaScript comments, variables, and operators. Yeah, everything works fine, with the exception that you have to fill in the content yourself. So now let's do a quick deploy. Let's open a new terminal by clicking this plus icon over here. and say npm run deploy. Bear in mind that once the deploy runs, sometimes it takes a while until it refreshes. So you should give 1 or 2 minutes at least when you don't see the content immediately updated. Give it some time and it will be updated. So right now this is deploying to GitHub pages, and let's see, our page was CodeTap IO GitHub and W3 schools replica. This is the one, right? Should be. The styles are not present. I might know why. However, I see that also the files aren't present. Maybe it's because we need to do this. Okay, what about if we do elements? So everything is alright, with the exception that styles is pointing to a file that's not present here. So because on W3 schools on GitHub IO we have this W3 schools replica. So let's quickly fix this for GitHub IO. So what we want to do is go on in our template pug file. Where is template here? It's not opened. Let's open it. Layout template, and let's create a variable here. Var base URL equals, and then we want to grab this path here. Where's the browse? Okay, that's it. Okay, so we want to concatenate those strings. So let's do it like this. This is ES6 using ticks. Google ES6 ticks to find more about it, and this should be base URL. So now if we save it and go back to our local version, let's check it. Yeah, the style sheet looks alright. Okay, and we'll also duplicate this line, and we'll have a local host colon 3000, and when we are working on local we comment this out, so our local looks nicer almost. It's missing a slash. Yeah. Okay, so when we are working on local, we use this base URL. When we want to deploy to GitHub, we comment the local one, uncomment the one for GitHub, and basically the style should look nice now. However, let's also have a quick look into header, and in here we want to do this href here. We want to update it, so let's use the ticks, and inside there's the curly braces. So this will evaluate that, and we'll also want to do base URL. Now our navigation If we inspect it, yeah, we can see that now it no longer says github.io/css, which it doesn't exist. So it prepends this github.io file before the //html and so on. So let's do the same for navigation. Okay, so navigation link using Ctrl D to edit in multi-line, do a tick in front of it, do a tick at the end of it, select it, use curly braces, dollar, then dollar base URL. Okay, so now those ones should be updated too, and they are. So let's do a quick deploy. npm run deploy. So while this one runs, remember that in our template, when you are working locally and want to see how things are looking, just uncomment the local path and comment the one for GitHub, and that's done now. I think we have to give it some time until it refreshes. Let's give it a minute or two. And voila! We have an online website working nicely. And not just that, I'll show you something cool about it. So let's grab this link, and so we've copied this link, right? And let's do Google page in speed. Google page speed. So follow this page speed insights link, click on it, paste your link inside it, and say analyze. Wow, a whopping 91 of 100 score on mobile and 97 out of 100 on desktop. Well, you're a beginner and you're getting this, which most of other developers are still dreaming about it or don't know how to do it. So thumbs up. In later lessons, I'll show you how to get this 100 of 100, or at least how to improve it. And meanwhile, this is the end of our current project. Not for you, it's for me. You should continue creating more pages that you can find on W3 Schools, and that's how you learn and discover more about HTML elements, about CSS, and so on. So continue doing that. I'll quickly and I'll soon start the My Resume, My CV project, which should be really awesome. It will use pug-starter again, and it will use some other medium to advanced CSS techniques to position in the page and to create some awesome effects over there. I hope you like it. It will be your online presence. It will be something that you can share with your friends, maybe with recruiters, with clients. It will be really awesome. So I'll be waiting for you in the next project. Don't forget to follow CodeTap on both YouTube and Facebook. And this brings me to the next questions. What did you get from this movie? Where would you put this in practice? Share with us your thoughts, or maybe some real projects you want to use this new knowledge. Now show me some real love and give me the thumbs up if you like this movie, or thumbs down if you didn't. And as always, happy coding and create something awesome.